Hi everyone, happy Pride. It's me, Maybelline. I'm here to, present to you a very special drag queen story hour. Oh, look at that. All my friends are here. There's Sean and Danny and Kira and Tobias and Justin and Trey and Aaron. I see you all. Hey everyone. Thank you for joining today. Well, the book that I brought to read for a very special drag queen story hour is Us and the U.S. Government. You can see this book's a little beat up over the years, just like the United States has been. So this one's got a very interesting foreword I want to share with everyone. Have you ever planted a seed? Maybe a sunflower with a face like a golden sun. Or a juicy tomato, waiting to burst with flavor. Well, this story is kind of like a seed. You see, the people who raised me, who helped me grow tall and strong and have ideas about the world, are different from mine. They're like sturdy oak trees with roots that run deep, but sometimes even the biggest oak can benefit from a little sunshine from a different direction. Isn't that cute? The story, the one you're about to hear, is my way of trying to plant a seed of understanding, of seeing things from a new perspective. Maybe, just maybe, as I read it to you, a little sprout will peek through the soil. Who knows? It might even grow into a beautiful conversation filled with love and laughter, even if we don't always see eye to eye. After all, the most important thing is that we keep growing together, like a happy little garden, under the same big sky. You know what was really cool about that introduction and forward to this book is it was written by one of my great friends, Gemini Google AI. Isn't that great? So, let's start the book. Isn't this cute? It's got a little donkey here. Hey Maybelline, where have you been? A little rhinoceros over here. Please don't refer to me as Mabel. Call me RiNOSA. We've got the whole little herd over here, and they're like, what? RiNOSA? Oops. And there's Maybelline again. Yes, RiNOSA. It stands for Republican and Name-Only Social Activist. And Donkey's like, oh, Miss Lean, what is this all about? And Maybelline's like, oh, I was on a global adventure and out and about in the world representing my tribe and finding myself and all, and I learned that I might be a rhino. Well, at least that's what the other pachyderms call me anyways. Do you know what a pachyderm is? Pachyderms are thick-skinned animals, like elephants and rhinoceroses. Here's an elephant here on the next page saying, so what did you learn from your travels? All the little kids are like interested. What'd you learn? I learned the world around us really doesn't think too much about me, to be honest. You see, me being different, well, I'm not an issue in other countries. And I learned a little bit about democracy from the world's view about us. And I know now that I was a blind rhino for a very long time. Here's Maybelline again. But they opened my eyes to everything, including how we are viewed as society and how we treat democracy and take it for granted. Little donkey. Well, maybe. That's deep. Another little rhino over here. What's democracing? Maybelline's like, it's not democracing, but democracy. Say it with me now. D-moc-ra-cy. There's all the little kids going, democracy. Little donkey here. Yeah, but what is it? Democracy is really the everyday freedoms we take for granted every day. Do you know what our freedoms are? Little zebra kid's like, freedoms of speech and to have my own beliefs, even if you don't agree with them. Maybelline's like, that's right. Are there any other freedoms we have? And the elephant kid's like, the freedom of religion. If I want to worship something you might not believe in, but I do. Maybelline's like, yes, that's a good point. There's a group of Christians right now that have been working to take that right and very freedom away. And what comes with it, like how women no longer have freedom of choice and reproductive health in many states. But you know what? That's another story altogether. On the next page of Maybelline again saying, are there any other freedoms we could think of? I think this is a little rhinoceros kid too. The freedoms of the press and the report on news unbiased and without political intervention or fear of prosecution. Maybelline's like, that's a good one. Did you Google it? We have all seen in the news recently how not everyone gets that freedom in places like Russia, the Middle East, and China, and how they even imprison not only the news people they didn't agree with, but their families as well. All the little kids, we don't want that to happen. Maybelline's like, can you think of any other freedoms? And all the little animals are mumbling amongst themselves. And Donkey Kid's like, we can't think of any of them right now. And the one little rhino's like, yeah, and you're putting us on the spot. And the Zebra Kid's like, you were bringing us down with losing our freedoms and stuff. Another Rhinoceros Kid's like, we just can't think of any of them right now, but we know there's more, okay? And Maybelline's like, well, you can learn more later by reading the Bill of Rights or the first 10 amendments to the U.S. Constitution. You see, that's where our freedoms come from. But what was important to this story was how when I was out in the world, how other countries didn't understand how Americans are allowing their freedoms to be taken away from them without objecting to it. Like, we're just okay with it. Thought we act like cows going to the slaughter and just fall in line and just, hey, here we are. I also learned how there's a real person right now reading this story to the world. She's trying her hardest to influence change in the 2024 election through a very special drag queen story hour. A little owl here. Maybelline? We're not doing that. Don't you never-ending story us. This is not about you now, is it? Let's get on with the story. Well, that's a mean little owl. Well, I guess, there you have it. This story is not about me. So we're going to get back to it. Here's Maybelline. I also learned that our freedoms are based on the 3 pillars of democracy. And the Elephant Kid's like, what are the 3 pillars of democracy, May? The 3 pillars of democracy are our 3 branches of government. Here's a little giraffe eating some branches, and he's going, I like branches. And you got the whole herd of kids again going, they're just giggling at the giraffe, knowing that these are not branches for eating. And Maybelline's like, no, the 3 branches of government. They're the executive branch, the legislative branch, and the judicial branch. You see in this drawing in the sand how the 3 pillars of our government uphold democracy. There's judicial, executive, legislative, all holding up democracy. And it's saying because if you remove one pillar of democracy, it still stands, see? So in this one, they took out the executive branch, and this one took out the legislative branch, and this one took out the judicial branch, but, it's still standing. It's amazing. But if you remove 2 or more pillars, then democracy falls, and we lose all our freedoms, and the world will change forever. You see, most of the pillars are gone, and democracy kind of collapsed and fell. That's sad. I guess that's what happens when one political party tries to take over all 3 branches of government. There's no more checks and balances. We lose it all. So here's a little herd of kids going, oh no, we don't want to lose our freedoms. Well, you know what, boys and girls and kids everywhere? Let me tell you. The main thing here is to share this story. We want to make sure that we share it with as many people as possible so that everyone learns about the 3 pillars of democracy. Here's that little mean owl again. Maybelline, I don't want to tell you again. See, But you really need to share this video with as many people as possible. It's for democracy. Anyways, back to the story. Here's Maybelline. Well, that is why it's important to share the story of the 3 pillars of democracy with everyone we know, to get them to understand how we can't lose another pillar of democracy. Here's all the little kids going, "What? Lose another one?" Yeah, I said another one, as in losing another branch of government. And this little elephant kid here, he's like, "Does that mean I have to believe in God?" And Maybelline's like, "Well, they might not force you to believe in God, but they'll change the laws, so you have to follow what they believe is God's law. And while you won't be able to choose differently like you can today, the good news is your beliefs are your own. And no one can really ever take that away from you, now can they?" Here's a little zebra guy going, "Yeah, but we don't want to have that forced on us." Maybelline's like, "Well, that's why it's very important to vote blue this one time in the 2024 election. You see, we need to send the message that we're united as a country. And we don't want to lose our rights and our freedoms, so just this one time, we need everyone, just vote blue. Send this message. We don't want your changes, and we want better." There's a giraffe going, "But Maybell, I don't believe in what they believe in, and I want my views to be considered too." Well, the kids are listening intently. Maybelline's like, "I understand. And if you truly want to have the ability to have those views heard, then you really need to vote blue this one time. Because the other party, they don't want you to have have a voice. They don't want you to have the right to express those views. And, well, frankly, if the whole red party wins, you won't have the ability to reflect those views in the future. That's why it's really important, even if you do not believe what the blue party represents, just this one election, just vote blue across the board if freedom's important to you." And the elephant guy is like, "Yeah, but I'm red. I've always been red, and my family's always been red. We vote red." Maybelline's like, "Awesome. Okay, I hear you, and I get that. But I have a question for you. Do you want the ability to continue voting red? Because if red wins this one time, you'll lose that freedom and the ability, not only for you, but for your family to vote red in the future. Is that really what you want?" There's like a parent elephant and a kid elephant. Well, no, not really, but Maybelline rushes in. Then there's really no buts. Not a one. Just join me and other rhinos out there and vote blue. Just all blue this one time. Send the message that you love you and vote blue. This little water buffalo, he's like, "My preacher said to vote red." Maybelline's like, "Do you honestly believe that your views are better than anyone else's at the end of the day?" And the water buffalo's like, "Well, not better, but right." And Maybelline's like, "So you don't believe anyone else should have the right to believe differently? And they have to see the same things you see and act the same way you act? I don't know if I'd like that very much. See, to me, that comes across as bland and unoriginal, and maybe a total loss of expression and imagination." And the water buffalo person's like, "I mean, I get what you're saying, but I really need to think about that then, and how it affects my views and my religion, I guess." And Maybelline's like, "You know what? That is what is great about this country, that you can take the time to reflect on that and still have your point of view. At the end of the day, if you vote blue this one time, you'll preserve your views and the rights of your religious views and freedoms. I promise you." And Bison person's like, "Well, I might not vote blue, but I get you." Maybelline's like, "You know what? That's okay. Well, I really want you to vote blue. The Blue Party showed me that you have the right to vote how you believe. And you know what? That's okay. You vote with what's in your heart and what you truly believe. And I just need to believe there are enough rhinos and others like me to preserve democracy and freedom. So you can continue to vote how you believe. While I may not agree with your view, I believe you're allowed to have it. And Maybelline goes on to say, I just wish you understood that others deserve the same. Maybelline's like, well, bye everyone. The whole herd's like, wait, what? She's like, yeah, I have to go out and spread the message to vote blue across the board. You know, in the 2024 election, if you want to keep your freedoms, you'll join me in spreading this message and wearing your honorary rhino horn to guide your way into the world to encourage the blue vote. Just this one time, like me, remember, you too can help save democracy and freedom and share this message and vote blue. And the animal herd together is like, bye Maybelline, and don't forget to vote blue too. And it's so cute. The elephants turn blue. They stop voting red. Well, that's the end of this book. Us and the US government. Don't forget to like and subscribe, but most importantly, share this video with as many people as possible. It's the only way to actually get the message of this book out, because this book only exists in this video. Thank you. Love you all. And don't forget, Maybelline for the people. Bye now.